Good morning, everyone. Happy August 10th. Happy graduation day. I think I see a few more of our graduates coming in. And so we're just going to get started in just a minute, but it is so nice to have everybody on and joining us. And to those watching on YouTube, to our families and friends and well-wishers watching on YouTube, good morning and thank you for joining us. We'll get started in just a few minutes. All right, so I believe we are ready to get started. It is wonderful to see everyone. Good morning. So my name is Sharika Wilson, and I am the project manager at the Caribbean School of Data. For those of you who are not familiar, the Caribbean School of Data is an initiative of the Mona School of Business and Management at the University of the West Indies, Mona. And we do digital skills and data fundamental training, not just in Jamaica, but across the Caribbean. Our graduates today have taken it a step further, and they've gone on to do and complete our level 2 program. And you'll be hearing more from them about that program as we go through the morning. So it is a wonderful morning. We're excited to celebrate them. We're excited to have all of you here joining us. And we're, for those of you watching us on YouTube, wherever you are, let's just give our graduates a nice round of applause for this accomplishment today. All right. So we have a wonderful agenda, but first, let's welcome our graduates. Our graduates are going to, not because we're online means that our graduates don't get to process to their audit graduation date. They get to do so, and we're going to share that now with all of you. Wonderfully. So we have roughly about 40 persons graduating today, and we're really excited. And they couldn't have made it this far without the help of the facilitators. And as you saw, we have Mr. Christopher Beal and Ms. Tamika Morris as our facilitators for this group. So if you're watching and you saw someone, you saw your friend or your relative that you're here to cheer on, send them a note of congrats in the comments below, because they want to feel and know how excited that you are for them. We're all so proud of what they have accomplished here today. All right. So as I said, this program is run through the Caribbean School of Data, and here to tell us a little bit more about the Caribbean School of Data and to bring some greetings, both from the CSOD and the Mona School of Business and Management, is Dr. Maurice McNaughton, the Director for the Center of Excellence and Innovation. Dr. McNaughton.
Thank you very much, Sharika. Good morning, everyone, and special good morning, especially a warm greeting to the graduates, which is, Sharika, I believe, our second graduating cohort for the CSOD Level 2 program. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, excellent. Morning again, everyone. Welcome to you all. Welcome, especially graduates, and congratulations on your achievement. As it turns out, this is the final graduation ceremony for this phase of the CSOD program. So this phase was funded by the Google Foundation and the Flow Foundation here in Jamaica. So in a sense, you are the last lap, if I could use that term. You are the last graduating cohort of this phase, and that is indeed a distinction. Just a few words, and in many respects, the CSOD program has gone quite well. And those of you who are graduating today have actually been with us through both our level 1 and level 2 programs. And so in many respects, you've contributed in no small way to the success of the program. I'll just share a few brief metrics about the program overall in terms of what we have accomplished to date. So, initially, although the primary focus was on youth between ages of 18 and 29, the reach of the program has been significantly broader than that. And we've had graduates ranging from 16 to 60. We've had graduates covering a much wider demographic than quote unquote marginalized youth. And we've had graduates that have done incredibly well from the disabled communities. So the reach has been quite broad-based and in many respects has touched on quite a lot of demographics. I think overall, Sharika, we've graduated over 950 students of the CSOD program in total. But I think our broader impact in terms of persons that we have touched or influences is close to 2,000. Another interesting stat is that 71% of our students were female. Perhaps it's a sign of the times. I don't know how many of you have watched this sort of ridiculous movie called Barbie, but there's obviously a strong trend for females doing extremely well, and we're seeing that reflected in our program. So congratulations to you. And of course, our men continue to hold up their end of the bargain. The program has a presence in the English, French, and Spanish-speaking Caribbean. We actually currently have cohorts mobilized in Haiti, and we've had Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Tobago. So it is very much regional in its flavor. And finally, there have been multiple pathways, what I call exit pathways identified. So some of you will have moved from the level 1 to the level 2 program. Some of you have actually become facilitators in our follow-on programs. And I know some of you have gone on to do quite well in other professional or other capacity development endeavors. So we're quite proud of the overall set of CSOD graduates and this cohort in particular. Just to tell you a little bit about what's next for the CSOD. As you would have seen from the level 2 program, you would have done quite a bit of work on mapping, and mapping is such a powerful capability that can be directed to all kinds of activities for disaster resilience, for climate change mitigation, for community development and advocacy. So we're currently involved in a partnership with the humanitarian OpenStreetMap team to extend our capacity building programs in the CSOD to mapping. And I believe some of you may be very well involved in the HOT program. Is that correct, Sharika? Are some of our current level 2 graduates also participating in the HOT program?
Yeah, I mean, our level 2 graduates, I would say, are just quite exceptional and diverse. Some are in the HOT program. Some will be joining us as facilitators, starting out, for this new cohort. So I'm really happy to see how much they have not just taken the program for themselves, but gone on to do other things as well.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, you may very well know, and again, some of you may be involved in that, we're working with Flow and Cable and Wireless regionally to extend the digital skills training model from this Skills for the Future program into an initiative called JUMP, which is a public-private partnership arrangement that provides high-speed internet, Chromebook devices, and digital skills training for PATH households. So again, lots of follow-on opportunities. The program continues to evolve. We're excited about the direction and the prospects, because I think all of you, have become quite strong advocates for the program. And we know that our economies and our society, as we emerge from the pandemic, digital and data skills will become even more critical to embrace the new opportunities and the new challenges of the digital economy as it emerges. So we've seen too much. We have learned too much through the pandemic not to take advantage of these opportunities. I'm very keen to continue our relationship with this cohort of graduates in some way, in some form. As Sharika mentioned, some of you are moving on to become more facilitators. Some of you are moving on to other CSOD related programs. So we look forward to continuing the engagement and the relationship with you. So again, let me just really congratulate this group, this cohort. I took a glance at our dashboard and I believe the throughput in terms of successfully completing this program is upwards of 80%, which makes you one of our most successful cohorts across our level 1 and level 2 engagements. So again, excellent, very well done. Congratulations again, and look forward to continuing our engagement with you all. So thank you. Back over to you, moderator.
Thank you, Dr. McNaughton. And so everyone, you heard a lot, you heard CSOD is doing a lot. It doesn't stop here. We're involved in many things. And Doc, you gave a great, overview of what we're doing at CSOD and of what the program is about. But I think there's something quite special about hearing it directly from one of our graduates, right? And so I'm now going to invite Ms. Janelle Walker. She was the top student in the program for this cohort. Janelle finished the program with an average of 98.46%. And so we're going to invite her to share a little bit with all of you in terms of what the level 2 program is all about and her experience and her journey there. All right, so Janelle, welcome to the stage. And let's drop our comments and our applause, or let's drop our applause, in the comments while we welcome Janelle. Come on, man, CSOD graduates, let's give her a round of applause. I need to see the reactions going. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes to the stage. So Janelle, we know your mic is on, but we're not seeing you just quite yet.
Right. Personally, my camera won't turn.
And so while Janelle is coming, I told you that Janelle had the highest average of 98.46. You all made it very, very difficult for us to even figure out who the top students were, because we had some pretty high averages across the board. The next person in line, 96.47, the next person, 95.97. We had to go all the way down out to the decimal points because you all did so exceptionally well. And as Doc has said, having one of the highest completion rates throughout the program so far, and you are only the second cohort for level 2. So we're really pleased with what we're seeing. All right. So Janelle has just reconnected, and then she's going to share with you. After Janelle, I'm very excited to hear. And then if you don't know this name, then write it down. We have a very dynamic speaker coming up after Janelle as well. We have Miss Danielle Mullings, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her after Janelle is finished. But if you don't know that name, you need to go ahead and write that down and mark it for the future. All right, Janelle, if the video isn't working, we'll love to hear what you have to say. So just go ahead and share with us and we'll get the video up a little later.
So, distinguished guests, facilitators, proud families, friends, and fellow CSOD Level 2 graduates, good morning. I would first like to express gratitude on behalf of my fellow graduates to the CSOD team and its partners, Caribbean Open Institute, Schultz Foundation, Mona School of Business and Management, and Go for giving us the opportunity to expand our digital skill set and excel. My personal journey through the program was nothing short of transformative. It has been a whirlwind of learning, growth, and self discovery. There were some challenges, but we overcame and achieved together. I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to our dedicated facilitator, Ms. Tamika Morris. Your unwavering support, guidance, and patience served as a stronghold throughout the program. Now, one of my highlights for the program was working on the capstone. Shout out to my Team Omega, as we worked on an interactive community project with a focus on the Mona neighborhood located in Kingston, Jamaica. It focused on having residents of the area map out small business centers located within the area, promoting greater opportunities for entrepreneurs and to increase awareness of resources within the community. Now, as we stand on the edge of a new beginning, I implore you, fellow graduates, never stop being curious. Embrace learning as a lifelong journey. Cultivate resilience. Failures are stepping stones, and patience is the bridge to success. Fellow graduates, congratulations on this achievement. Let's move ahead with the lessons we've learned, continue to inspire, and use data to shape a brighter future for all. I thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Janelle. And if you missed it, we didn't get to see her video, but you will see her back in the stream when we bring the stream up. But Janelle, just thank you so much. And so you would have possibly heard just talking about her experience, again, the importance of our facilitators. We can't underscore that enough, and just her journey. So for all of our level 2 students, they participated in a mapping project, and they presented data entrepreneur project, I should say, and they presented that for their capstone at the end of level 2. And so we had some really, really amazing projects. And Janelle just highlighted one of them for you. All right. You remember I told you to write down a name? Because right now I am going to bring on a speaker, and if I were to read everything about her, we would be here for longer than the 11. So I'm just going to pull out a few things, right? For those of you who not just attended University of the West Indies, but maybe had a good fortune of seeing the clip floating around, all over the internet, would know just why we chose this speaker, dynamic young woman. So Danielle Mullings is a multifaceted individual. She has a strong passion for technology, leadership, and art. She has recently completed her degree at the University of the West Indies with a Bachelor's of Science in Software Engineering and a minor in Film Studies, right? She's also an open scholar. She has expertise and she was a past guild president, by the way, and she is dedicated to using her expertise to improve society and aspires to become a world leader in technological representation for the Caribbean and Latin America. And for those of you who know, and you hear us talk about CSOD all the time, we talk about the importance of making sure the Caribbean is well represented in this space. We talk about reducing data poverty in this space. We talk about increasing our digital skills in the region. So it is exciting to hear Danielle's passion and commitment for technological representation in the Caribbean and Latin American region. He has special interest in digital health and has made contributions to this space as a regional youth champion for the Lancet and Financial Times Commissions, Date Futures 2030. Danielle do a whole bunch of things. You've probably also seen her on TV, on Gen Z. She's a natural leader, a dynamic speaker, involved in the tech space, and just all around committed to making the world a better place. So Danielle, forgive me for not taking the next 10 minutes and going through all of your accolades, but just know that we are so happy to have you here today and excited to hear from you. So Danielle, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Sharika. It's a pleasure to be here, especially as we're looking at this graduation now of this cohort of level 2 students. Now, overall, we're at this moment in time where data, technology overall has never been more important to the future of our society. So this is an extremely exciting time to be in tech and to be learning the items that you're learning throughout your course. Now, I'm especially excited to hear about, 70% of the students being women, as Dr. McNaughton said earlier, because I think we also are, seeing this twin revolution of not only technology being pushed forward, but also, women becoming more empowered in this space. So that being said, that's the backdrop and the context. We are in a very ripe revolution for the digital space. Now, for me, the first time that I recognized how important data literacy and digital literacy overall is within the Caribbean context was during the pandemic. And I think a whole lot of persons also recognize it at that point in time. Many persons and institutions credit the COVID-19 pandemic as the accelerator for digital transformation within this space, right? And so at that point, I was working with the organization that was, creating the digital platform for students to be doing education and, continuing doing their classes online, basically. And it was so interesting to me to see like the disparity, like the level of disconnect between those who do know how to use devices and those who don't. There were many households in which, we have persons messaging in on the chat line or the helpline saying, hey, we don't know how to set up an email, or we don't have an email at all for the household. We're not sure how to use Zoom. We're not sure how to use these different, platforms and devices. And it really brought us to a point where you're now seeing digital literacy being a determinant of your ability to access education, your ability to access the workforce, or even the remote work at that point. And even to some extent, your ability to access healthcare services, right? Because you have some persons who are now doing like remote consultations or therapy sessions virtually, right? And so all these kind of become the digital determinants, they say, of your ability to function well in society. And I think that that's only going to continue going forward. But that really was a point in which I said, wow. So, you're going to have a section of Jamaica that is able to access the internet, but may not then know how to use the devices to best be a player within the space. Or even that part in your curriculum about being a data entrepreneur, I believe, and looking at how you can capitalize on having the skills to then benefit you in an economic way or building your career, etc. There's a huge disparity between not only those who have access initially, but then those who have the skills to capitalize on it. So, they're going to be different levels. And it's something that I saw as well in my work with UNICEF, as we're rolling out this chatbot right now, that is going to teach young people different life skills, so like how to build a resume, how to find mentors, different day-to-day things, even like conflict resolution. It's quite diverse in the skills that will be offered through it. But nonetheless, it's delivered through WhatsApp, right? And so you have to look at those numbers of, okay, how many people have an internet connection, and how do we build that into it to say, all right, well, even if they lose connection for a period of time and they start back from where they've stopped, right? That's something that we've intentionally built into it. And I think any system that you're building overall is going to have to be very cognizant of the literacy level and access level of the target population or the end user that you're building it for. So that has been quite interesting to kind of navigate through. So again, that will highlight the importance and the impact of the programs that you're doing here, that you have done here with the CSOD, because that need to bridge the digital divide and foster that stronger data culture within the Caribbean is huge, and it's only going to grow as we move further into this digital world, right? That being said, I want to leave you guys with a little acronym. The acronym overall spelling out data, and the D in that being dare to explore. And that means as persons who are looking at the data, it's in a very unique position, right? Because you're able to take an evidence-based approach to solving the nation or the Caribbean as a region's issues. And that is so important, because sometimes you have people making decisions and there's no data, no evidence to back it up. Even as a guild president last year, this was one of my main focuses. I said, I'm coming from the Faculty of Science and Technology. I'm very much into data points. And so I'd be in the principal's office with literally with like charts. And I would disaggregate the data to say, all right, I've done a poll of 500 students. This is what the first years are saying. This is what the second years are saying. What the third years are saying. Here's the reasons that I think, you do the analysis. So here are the reasons I think that this segment is saying that and that segment is saying that. And here's the overall best way forward that I believe we should take, right? And so data empowers you to not only be a techie per se, or, in those standard days of somebody, hunched over coding for days. It's not only going to empower you in that way, it also empowers you in day-to-day life, like being a good leader, being able to make those evidence-based decisions, being able to boost your business or boost whichever area you may be in, because you're able to say, all right, this is what the data is saying, and so this is the best way for me to go forward. A lot of that is important for you as you're charting your journey and figuring out where you go from here and what's next for you. So I just want to highlight that the first thing within data is to dare to explore, dare to challenge the status quo, dare to say, why does that work the way that it does? Let's find a deeper reason and look at what the facts and statistics behind that are. And then we utilize that to kind of build our journey as we're going forward. So discover new stories, discover new possibilities, but dare to explore data. The A in data, next one up, is to aim high, to have very, very high expectations and ambitious goals for yourself in this data journey. Of course, you're going to be kind with yourself because we can't always hit every single mark that we want to, but you have to aim high. So you have to say to yourself, all right, how can we stretch our limits and achieve more than we thought was possible? How can we look beyond where we are currently and use these insights that we're getting from data to help us build even more useful applications or solutions as we go forward? So that whole idea of being ambitious, I think some of the most successful people in the world are probably, just a bit slightly delusional, but delusional in a good way, in the sense that you're saying, I see, but I'm going to dare to go beyond them. So aim very high as you move forward. Let's go to the T, take the lead. I believe that as graduates, you have a unique position because you have gone through this training program, you have garnered the skill sets, the knowledge, and now it's time for you to really take the lead in the spaces, the communities that you're in, and look at how can I implement what I have here, or what I have learned rather, in the spaces that I currently am in. How can I better the communities that I'm a part of? And so I would really encourage you to step into, leadership roles, whether in your careers or in your communities, and start saying to, whether it be your boss or maybe you volunteer with a community group and say, oh, I've learned these skills, these data skills. How can I use that to improve our current offerings as a CBO or community-based organization or as a business? So start using it at work, start using it in the different spaces that you're in, because everything that you've learned now is good to have learned it, but it's even better to implement it. And so that's why the last letter within this A is for action. So far I've said, dare to explore, you're going to aim high, so set some ambitious goals, and you're going to take the lead. And now it's time for action, right? So it's, as I said earlier, it's important to stay the course. 80% of you have completed this program, which is amazing in and of itself. That's a very high rate. Now that you've completed it, what are you going to do next? Who do you want to impact? And also what area do you want to go into? Because data can be applied in so many different fields. For me, I'm very interested in how technology can transform education and healthcare. And so I've oriented the different projects I work on today around those two. So, looking at healthcare, looking at education. That being said, who are the key players in these areas that you could work with and utilize your skill sets that you've now gained within those spaces? So really and truly, you need to be looking at what are those real world challenges that I can now help to start solving. We can now help to start solving and contributing to a positive transformation. the Caribbean of tomorrow is going to require us to take action today. And so it's start looking inward, look at your capacities. What can I do? Who are the people that I know? How can I get to that level that I want to get to? What is my vision for the future of the Caribbean, given what I have now learned? That take action piece is going to be so critical. So just to remind you that in a world inundated with information, you hold the key to transformation by using data. Every data point you analyze, every pattern you uncover, every action you take has the potential to shape a better future. And so I just want to remind you to embrace the power of data, for it's not just a collection of numbers, not just some statistics there. It's also a catalyst for progress. It's a story waiting to be told. It's a challenge waiting to be solved, and a force that can really empower you to make a difference. So let your journey with data drive you to new heights of discovery. As I said, dare to explore, aim high, take the lead, and of course, take action. And just remember that you are the architects of change, and your commitment to driving advancement of our region will, of course, leave a mark on the world and leave a mark on the people around you. So thank you so much for having me. Back over to you, Sharika, and I just wish all the best for the graduates here.
All right. Thank you so much, Danielle. And I think now we should be able to get some reactions going. I think now that's been enabled. So let me hear it for Danielle, please, everyone. Let me see the reactions. Let me see if the reactions are working now. Let's test them out and see if our reactions are working. Okay, I see in the chat. Yes, and it. Okay, wonderful. All right. So there are some real gems there. And, Danielle make data so nice and interesting and sexy, don't it? But really, really, really important points that she made. She spoke about the Caribbean of the future, about what we need to do today. She gave us an acronym for data, so I'm looking to see that in the chat as well. I'll give you the first one, dare to explore. What does the rest of it stand for, right? And really important, we touched on points of access, and that is something that we have been talking about from level 1, this digital divide, right? And not being left behind. The importance of this program, not just for you as individuals, but thinking about your community and thinking about us as a country and as a region. How do we move forward together? How do we build the skills, not just the skills of tomorrow, but skills of today? Everything is moving into digital space. And so we have to be quick today, right? She talked about us as architects of change, right? And so a lot of good gems. And then she also mentioned her interest in terms of the intersection of tech and health. But I hope as you were listening, you recognize that digital technology, that data in and of itself undergirds so much of what we do across all spheres. And so no matter what your personal interest is, I hope that you took away from what Danielle shared, how you're thinking about implementing what you have learned in your own sphere of influence, in your own passion area, in what you're currently doing or what you're seeking to do. So Danielle, thanks again for those words. And I see all the reactions coming in the chat. So I know persons were really tuned in. I'm looking to see the rest of the acronym data in the chat and what it stands for. All right. So I do believe we are at the point in the ceremony when graduates, I know this is what you're waiting on. Dr. McNaughton, are we ready to give out some certificates?
I think we are in the digital world. The distribution of certificates is much easier than it was in the legacy world. So yeah, we're good to go whenever you say, Sharika.
We go. I say go. So graduates, remember it's important to smile and shake hands as you're collecting your certificate. Grab it quickly as it's going. In the digital world, it tends to go a little faster than when you're crossing a physical stage. All right.
And well, let me just say it, but it was great hearing from Danielle. Hi, Danielle. One of the fascinating and really satisfying things about being here at the university is to be able to see the evolution and the transition of our students from young, bright-eyed, curious first-year students into accomplished, world-changing, global citizens, as they pass through the halls of academia here at UWI, and then move on to do great things. So Daniel is a great example of that. So good to see you, Daniel. And for all of you, as you've heard today, both from Daniel and indeed throughout your two programs, we're in a post-pandemic world, and digital is the medium of exchange for goods and services, for commerce, for access to education, in social interaction, employability, access to wealth. Everything is going digital. And so it's no surprise that for CSOD, the presentation of certificates is a digital exercise. And, you know, in the old legacy world, in functions like this, or traditional graduation ceremonies, we would call out your names and you'd come up on stage, receive your certificate, and everyone would clap and your family would clap and cheer. So we're simulating the same thing. We're going to be handing out the certificates digitally. There are 40 of you, so we can scroll through a little bit slower, Sharika, than when we had 350. And so as we pause at each name, please give a shout out and acknowledgement and recognition to your colleagues. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. And we are going to hand over the certificates. So are you seeing those on screen now? So we're starting with Angela McKenzie. Congratulations, Angela. And then we have Anika Lee. Congrats, Anika. Annette Walden. Caroline Jackson. Congratulations to you all. Clara Grant. Delton Henry. Dorothy Carson, Alana Williams, Hugh Jones, and of course, Sharika, we still will be issuing physical certificates, but we'll also be distributing the digital certificates. Hugh Jones, congrats, Hugh, holding up things for the male side of the species. Janelle Walker, Janika Smith, Javon Douglas, Jeremiah Slater, Josiane Matthews, Juliet Senior, Junior Butler, Karen Adams, Kadia Nemart, Kelvin Bernard, Kenisha Brown, Kevin Spence, Latoya Brown, Latoya Johnson, Latoya Thomas, Leon Rodney, Lydia Cummings, Mishka Murray, Natalia Green, Raheem Kiddo, Rochelle Clark, Ronaldo Salmon, Rosalie Davis, Rupert McCoty. Did I get that right? Shanique Johnson Ellis, Shanae McLeish, Shirley Pinnock, Sonia Hamilton, Tessa Boyne, Tovian Turner, Tristan Newell, Vanessa Hilton, and those are our 40 graduating students for this level 2 CSOD cohort. So congratulations again to every one of you. And as I mentioned earlier, look forward to continuing to engage with you. Back over to you, Sharika.
All right. Thank you, Dr. McNaughton, and congratulations to all of the graduates here today. I do hope that, you know, as you are, those of you who are watching online, that you're able to take some pictures, because I know the graduates will probably want to see some pictures later. And for the graduates who did take pictures, and, you know, I know we're in a big social media age, so if you post, then tag us. We are on most social media platforms, so definitely tag us, you know, with the pictures that you have taken, because we want to be able to continue to share in this moment with all of you. All right. Before I bring up the next person, I know that some of our graduates just wanted to give a shout out to their community, those who have been supporting them. You know, those of you who are watching online right now. And so there's some graduates who voiced some of those thank yous, and we're going to share that with you. So let me pull that up. Right. All right, just 1 second. Graduates, welcome. You can keep the thanks for your support because in the chat. And I'm still looking for the rest of the acronym for data in the chat. All right, so we're gonna pull it up now, and you can your guest here today can hear from you. Yes, I see, Leanne. You did it. You did it indeed. Congratulations. All right, here we go. All right. So as I said, our graduates, they didn't do this alone. They had a lot of support from you as community, and they wanted to share that with you, to thank you for what you have done and thank you for your support. So I hope all of our guests watching online, watching on YouTube, you felt their appreciation. So I'm seeing in the chat, Latoya. So Daniel, let me know if they're getting this correct. I see dare to explore, I see aim high, I see take the lead, and I see action takers.
Yes, correct. Big up Latoya.
Big up Latoya. So Latoya, we'll talk after. She got it right? So Jenna, I can talk after. Good, yes. Good job. All right, wonderful, Latoya. All right, so before I bring up, Javon to officially give our vote of thanks, Janelle, is your camera working now? Are you able to come back on camera? And Javon, can you come on camera at the same time? I just want to, again, highlight these two. So I see Javon, Janelle, camera working for you now? All right, so Janelle's camera doesn't look like it's working yet, but we have, I just wanted to shout out Janelle and Javon. So as Dr. McNaught would have said, we have an exceptional group here, right? Did very, very well. And it was very, very hard to sort of pick out our top performers. But as we're looking and we're going through and we're seeing persons who are consistently doing well. So Janelle was part of Janelle, tell me if I'm getting this correct, our DIA program early on. And so for level 1, you were the top performer for the DIA group for level 1, I believe. And Janelle has come out, as I said before, as the top student, the top performing student overall for this level 2 cohort with a score of 98.46%. So let's give Janelle a round of applause, please. Right. Javon, who is also on your stage. So Javon, when you did it for level 1, you were the top student for your level 1 cohort, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And I see you taking the lead I see it, I see you doing all of the things that Daniel was saying, because Javon has come out as our top male performer for this cohort. So let's give Javon a round of applause. And Javon's average, right? Javon's average for this course was 95.97%. We can just round it up to 96, right, Javon? But again, this cohort was so competitive that we had to go down to the two decimal places. And Danelle and Javon I think are two really good examples of what this entire cohort has accomplished. And again, we don't want you to stop here. You're going to continue to do great things, right? Not just Janelle and Javon, but the entire cohort. I want you to shout them both out. And, we will talk to you afterwards about, just a little token that recognizes the work that you have put in to level 2. All right. So Javon, I'm going to turn over to you now for your task for this program.
All right. Thank you, Sharika. So first, I want to express a warm and welcome good morning to everyone joining us today. As a member of the graduating class, it is my esteemed honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this occasion. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Almighty God for allowing us to meet like this. Now, on behalf of the graduating cohort, I would like to express thanks to Google, the Mona School of Business and Management, as well as the Caribbean School of Data for their invaluable contribution to the implementation of this program. We would like to express gratitude to our facilitators, Ms. Tamika Morris and Mr. Christopher Beal, for the time, patience, diligence, and motivation that they provided to all the graduates. A special thanks to our guest speaker, Ms. Danielle Mullins, for taking the time to provide us with that enlightening address on the importance and applications of data and digital literacy. Dr. Maurice McNaughton, thank you for presenting the certificates. And thank you, Ms. Sharika Wilson, for hosting this event. Finally, thanks to all our supporters and fellow graduates that helped us to reach this milestone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Javon. And again, all of the graduates, you guys, don't you feel proud? I feel so proud of you. Give yourselves a round of applause. You have done excellently. And I know this is not the last of it. As Dr. McNaughton would have shared, we're continuing to add programs to the CSOD portfolio, and there are many ways for you to continue to get involved. All right. And so this is not the last that we're going to hear from you. We want to see you involved. We want to see you continuing to be involved. I really want to, yes, I see in the chat. The other two people I want to shout out right now, our facilitators, Mr. Christopher Beal and Ms. Tamika Morris. Can I also say a round of applause in the chat for the facilitators, as Javon would have also just shouted out, because we know that when you were at some of those tough moments, the facilitators were those who kept you going. And so we just want to really appreciate the work of our facilitators. Tamika and Chris for this particular cohort, but our facilitators across the board, arms and legs of what we do here at the Caribbean School of Data. So our guests, don't walk out yet. You remember you saw our graduates come in, you saw them take their virtual seats. You have to see them leave as well, right? So as you see them recessing out of the auditorium, take pictures, right? Post the pictures, send the pictures to them, but we're going to now, stand and allow the graduates to recess out of the auditorium. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to stay to watch and see our graduates, leave now with their certificates that they have just collected. And before the graduates recess, I know that there are questions about the certificates. So the electronic certificates will be emailed to you. And then the physical ones, along with those who are still waiting on the level 1 physical certificates, those will be packaged and ready together. And we're looking to that by the end of this month. I want to answer those questions here. All right, so congratulations again, and let us know, what as our graduates leave the auditorium. So let us share that. All right, so thank you so much for joining us this morning. Congratulations to our graduates once again. Congratulations to our facilitators for the, the fruition of all of your hard work. Dr. McNaughton, congratulations. A second level 2 cohort, and we've seen even higher numbers for this group. So we're proud of all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll play the reel one more time because I know some folks might have missed themselves the first time. We'll play it one more time. But thank you for staying with us and have a good rest of your Thursday. All right. So I promised we would. Thank you, Sonia. I promised we would get out of here by 11. It is 11. So that's our program for today, everyone. And thank you to Lakay Dixon, who's been our tech support for this morning. So Lakay, thank you so much for helping us out. All right, everybody, we're going to sign off now. Congratulations again, and we'll be in touch about your certificates. Have a wonderful day.